Welcome, Capricorn. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your meditation reading. This is focusing on the new moon in Taurus, following of last week, following the solar eclipse in April and the lunar eclipse in March. So as we are experiencing solar flares in the environment, we are also experiencing, in many ways physically, this buildup of cosmic energy. So we'll take a look at how that is impacting you, Capricorn, in particular, but I also want to remind you that I do personal readings. If you're interested in that, the information for that is in the description box below. I also give a free reading on or about the first of every month. And I am receiving wonderful comments, feedback, appreciations, and generous donations from many of you in response to that. So thank you. I appreciate your presence here now. Let's get started with your overall energy for this new moon in Taurus meditation. We have the moon. The moon is about our connection to the collective unconscious. That's the part of us that resonates with the entirety of humankind regarding needs, desires, unconscious allies, and energy that is there to assist, protect, and support us as we look at those behaviors that we are fearful of, we are uncomfortable with. Those aspects of ourselves that desire our confrontation in order to transcend, to work on those energies, to resolve the tensions that we feel as a result of fear. This is also describing a lot of secret energy, a lot of hidden energy that is there to support you. This can be prompting you to ask for specific help that you want. This is you coming out of this place of being perhaps isolated or perhaps feeling alone in some aspect of your life and needing to seek assistance from your own internal reserves or from external sources. But particularly when the moon shows up, it is pointing us in the direction of our history, our ancestors, however broadly defined you would like to, you understand that to be for yourself. So this some powerful unconscious energy is being unleashed here, being revealed here. In the 10th house, the Three of Swords is your ultimate attempt to understand, deeply understand those failures, those disappointments, those things that have hurt you, damaged you, when you have sought love, you have sought approval, you have sought support, and you've been rejected or disappointed in some way. This particular time feels loaded with energy that is helping you understand how you have given your power away in many ways unconsciously with the expectation that it would be returned to you. And we're understanding why we may attract situations that we feel we need to fix, support, or improve on behalf of others when we are resistant to allowing that same support, attention, nurturance for ourselves. This can also include believing that others can provide that support and love in ways that we cannot provide it for ourselves in the face of perhaps historic rejection, a final understanding that all that you need to heal yourself, to soothe yourself, to improve or nurture yourself resides within you. In the first house, the Knave of Swords, this is the Page of Swords in this version of the Egyptian deck. This is about, in many ways, not knowing what to do, not knowing what direction to turn to, but instead really using your curiosity, your desire to learn, to be open to new ideas, new perspectives, to inform you, to open up those inner reserves within that will prompt you and give you the courage to face the contradictions that you're holding within yourself. This is your desire to truly resolve inner conflicts with the truth, even if it hurts. You're kind of familiar with hurt in this particular time. You're actually not pulling away from the hurt or the heartbreak, the disappointment that you've experienced. You're willing to accept that rejection if it helps you to understand who you are better and empower a stronger sense of being present in your reality. In the fourth house is the house of your home, your history, your foundation. The Two of Pentacles is coming across as your ability to integrate your past, what you've learned from the past, the resources and skills you've developed in the past with those opportunities and challenges that you see facing forward into the future. You're aware that you need to change, you want to change, but the actual skills and presence to do that can be challenging. This is almost a response of you to the sense that you may have had that you were waiting for something, waiting for someone to be ready, waiting for an opportunity to present itself, waiting for assistance to approach something that you desire. You're releasing that, understanding that you are responsible for your own experience and you can create the conditions for better outcomes. But it requires openness, it requires learning, it requires consideration of the opportunities, both in the past and what is likely or probable in the future. So this is a feeling of your being busy, preparing yourself for the moves that are emerging for you, this direction that you feel is emerging. In the seventh house is the house of your significant others. And the Seven of Pentacles is really about looking at the way you've invested in yourself, in your dreams, and perhaps the way that you have been compliant or served the needs of others. And you are dissatisfied with the balance, even as you understand that in many ways you may feel clearly that you're on the path of your destiny. You are in the mode of your purpose or your service. But you're understanding that there are still habits of behaviors and patterns that do not benefit you, that lend towards the side of underinvesting in yourself and overinvesting in others. This is something you are aware of, and you're seeking to readjust this with an understanding that it is you who must invest in your own well-being, your own clarity, your own basic skills and foundations in order to maximize the rewards, the recognition, and the benefits of your pursuits. If this is resonating with you so far, Capricorn, please like this video. You can subscribe to my channel. I always appreciate your comments, and I appreciate your shares with others who may enjoy this or find it useful. And I pulled the fear card. I realized that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. And actually, with this beautiful moon card here, I do believe that this is a fair summary of some aspect of this reading to date. And from the Hummingbird Oracle, for a lighter touch, I pulled Magic in the Air. I like that. Stay alert for the signs, synchronicities, and messages guiding your flight path. Lovely, optimistic, uplifting, and really emphasizing the desire to live in the energy of love, of magic, of things occurring, things changing through your desire to face your fears. I'm going to clarify the Knave of Swords in the first house, or the Page of Swords with the Ten of Wands in the second house, and the Six of Wands in the third house. You're carrying a lot of responsibilities, and that is part of the story as you face this history of failure, heartache, or disappointment. It's not to say that your whole life has been such, but I think you're reckoning with the disappointments, the lack of success that you are experiencing despite your efforts to be responsible, to take on the obligations that you believe are required to reach your goals. It feels like a lot for you, and that may not be the sum total of your responsibilities, simply that part of you that is investing in your present capacity and your potential future abundance. But it is you shifting your responsibilities in a way that will allow you to prioritize what it is that you're pursuing on your own behalf. And this card is describing a lot of responsibilities to a lot of other aspects of your life, a lot of other people in your community, obligations at your job, responsibilities at home that feel burdensome, that feel exhausting and depleting. But this, again, may be part of a positive process of you releasing the level of obligations and responsibilities you're carrying for yourself. Six of Wands is indicating that despite all that you carry, you are successful on behalf of your collaborations, your community, those things you do with and for others is something that you do well, something you carry effortlessly, something that you're clear about in terms of where your responsibilities begin and end. And as a result of that, you're able to invest and realize victories, efforts, rewards, positive movement and progress on behalf of your community. The Two of Pentacles in the fourth house is clarified by the Queen of Swords in the fifth house and the Death card in the sixth house. Yeah, there's an interesting sense of dispassion when you look to, when you pursue the truth of your reality, which is a theme that you initiated in the first house. This is your desire to be clear, to gain illumination and insight into what it is you're experiencing and how you can move your way through this sense of heartbreak, disappointment, loss. This is the area of your chart in the area of your creativity, the way that you collaborate with others like you, the things that you do create, as in children and creative products or services. So the Queen of Swords is really showing you grown up in this particular regard, that you're able to bring your curiosity and your courage to challenge your own assumptions when it comes to your creative expression. And this may be pointing to the creative aspect of the work that you do, the way that you collaborate, the way that you find creativity in work, or you make your work into play. This can be specific to those of you that are creatives or artists in some capacity, that this is where you gain clarity. This is where you can successfully implement those courageous moves that allow you to embark on content that is unique, original, and supports the truth the seeking of truth of others in your community. It's also a place where you are fruitful in your discourse, the way that you use words to motivate and open up the imagination and creativity of your collaborators. So there's a skillful use of words, and there's also an indication that maybe writing about what you're working on, what you're doing, is another avenue of sharing your power and expressing yourself creatively in a way that can be quite magical and powerful. You're experiencing a real rebirth through the area of your working life, through the area in which you identify that you give service to your community or to the world. This also is about your physical body experiencing new routines, habits, behaviors that help you to feel efficient and productive. But your creative moves, your most successful efforts in your life seem to revolve around your relationships, all exchanges, of course, in love or money. Those are the ways we often experience exchange in relationship. But any exchange of energy is experiencing a rebirth in many ways as a result of the very challenging work that you're doing on an inner unconscious level. Bringing those gifts, those lessons into your consciousness so that you can use them as tools to advance your creative vision. The Seven of Pentacles in the 7th house is clarified by Temperance in the 8th house, and the 4 of Pentacles in the 9th house. You've been working on a particular project and on this process of recalibrating your understanding of the way that you give and exist in relationship for a very long time. This hinges on the way that you're seen in the world, how you identify your social position or responsibility. And it's about a long-term balancing of resources that you have now and that you can transform into your vision of the future. You have accomplished and achieved a miraculous, or are building this miraculous cultural foundation. This is part of the way that your creative expression is finding footing in the world. You are understanding how connected you are to a diversity of communities, and you may be creating something that can be shared, taught, trained, that can instruct others into how to build a similar foundation. But this is something that you are circling back to as you are reevaluating the gifts and resources that you have at hand, so that you are understanding that this foundation has been available to you for a while, and only now are you able to carefully put this in place in a way that gives you access to the broader world, gives you access to the growth and the expansion that you are seeking. In the 3 of Swords in the 10th house is clarified by the Tower in the 9th, in the 11th house, and the Moon again in the 12th house. So I really like this. I like this circling back to your inner self ultimately, but it is not until you've experienced a dramatic change and disruption in your affiliation, in your associations, in the groups or tribes, families that you belong to. There's some kind of shift or change in leadership, the structures that support you, that is allowing you to see your opportunity in a new way, in a fresh way. Something that you thought was unchangeable is now shifting in a way that you see a toehold in or a foot into a doorway that allows you to accomplish something on your own terms. Perhaps even step into leadership. And that's very challenging for you because the leadership skills are well developed, and that is not an unfamiliar role to you, but you're really grappling with this inner sense of empowerment. And in many ways, that's where you go back to for the source. And we started out with you asking for help, but in many ways, I see you asking for help because others look to you for assistance in so many ways. You're looked to for leadership. You're looked to for your ability to not shy away from responsibility, from the hard stuff. You're certainly understanding that you need to limit that in ways that may be less familiar to you, but with a sense of mission and purpose that you are clarifying. You know that your ultimate inner resource is where you get fueled up with the desire for clarity, with the assistance of your own inner resources and external allies, spirit guides, ancestors, whoever is there for you, whoever understands and knows you, as in understanding your purpose here, is where you go back to open up this inquisitive approach to challenging your own assumptions about life, your life. I'm going to finish up this reading, Capricorn, with a yogic path oracle. And I will be reading from the guidebook of Sahara Rose, who created this incredible deck that I'm enjoying immensely. And I pulled asana, and many of you do know, I do know that an asana is a yogic position, and we're about to learn more about what an asana is. And so I will read from this gorgeous guidebook. The 8 stages of yoga. Physical practice to sit in stillness. Your physical body holds the key to your evolvement, but it's just the first portal. The asana, yogic body postures you have been practicing have been preparing you for true asana, to sit in stillness with the truth. These shapes and movements have removed the cobwebs of your limiting self, creating space for the silence of your mind's forest. You are one of those who realizes the true intention of asana, and the one paving the way for others to see this bodily practice is really just a way to come face to face with yourself. Continue to cultivate your practice and move deeper into its core purpose, flow of energy in the body for the evolution of the spirit. Wow. Thank you so much, fellow Capricorns, for this powerful reading. Until next time, namaste.